everybody. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes Podcast, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah Merrill here with Craig Morgan and Steve Peters, which, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see your getup. Petey, you really came.
Remember that get up? It's an award show today, so I thought I'd wear and be red carpet ready.
You are. Obviously, Craig and I did not get the memo.
No.
I thought it would go without saying.
Not sure I would have obeyed the memo anyway, but
yes. Well, like Petey said, we will be doing our first annual PHNX Coyotes Midseason Awards.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a second. That is why Petey is dressed the way he is. But you know what? It's the NHL All-Star break. I feel like we all finally could take a collective breath and just sit and reflect on the first 50 games. So before we get into our awards, I just kind of want to do like a State of the Union, a state of how are we feeling about where the Coyotes are now and where they're possibly headed.
can we do a preamble to that even?
Yes.
Petey, where in the hell did you buy that suit?
I had it custom tailored. No, buddy. That's what the internet is for stuff like this. This is a $35
Backstory,
suit. I
please.
went all in for a $35 suit on Alain Petit.
Okay.
I'm just serious. Go check it out. They're
How old
real
is this
suit. This suit, I bought this suit in preparation for all of the whiteouts that I would endure as a Coyote staff member. Unfortunately, there were none.
So you bought it after 2012 is what you're telling
I
us.
did buy it after 2012,
That's tragic.
anticipating all of the ones we were going to be at. I could wear it there. It would give us good luck. And I didn't get to wear it.
Do you just Google white suit? Is that how you start?
Buddy, when you wear suits every day on those planes, you tear the suits. They're like sweatsuits.
It's
You
true.
can't
It's true.
have $1,000 suits. So you well know my place in LA, my
Yep.
Aran Amani. And if you say it really fast, it sounds like Armani.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that suit? Aran Amani.
Bronco can do that.
Yes, it's unreal. The place is unreal. It's $99 for everything. Socks, shoes, belt, suit, shirt, tie. $99.99. And you think I'm kidding? I am not.
Not an ad.
And this is a $35 suit. And I will not give out which coach. There was a coach on that Arizona Coyotes NHL staff that wore Alain Petit suits on the bench. $35 suits, and I'm not making that up.
Okay.
That is a true story. Because they on the bench, can you imagine all the sweat and spit and water? Like, you don't want a nice suit. Then you could throw them out. You don't even have to dry clean them at $35. Anyway, so I'm ready for the award
Dispose
By
of
the
show.
way,
suits.
Petey is drinking coffee right now, so we just have to be on watchful
Yep.
eye that you do not spill.
Oh my gosh, I
on
didn't
your
even
white
plan
suit.
that part. Yeah, no, because I'm not dry cleaning it. That would cost more than
No,
the
you
suit.
just throw it out on your wall.
So anyway, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready
All
to talk
right, you're ready.
awards, red carpet.
You're ready. Okay, well, circling back around to a couple minutes ago, State of the Union for the Coyotes before we get into the awards. 50 games in, 32 to go. What do we all think? Is this where we expected them to be? Are we surprised? Are we disappointed? What are your thoughts?
Well, I would say we were surprised earlier in the season, but as they hit the All-Star break, they are right about where we thought they'd be. There are a couple other teams that are a little surprising that they're as low as they are in the standings, but the Coyotes are basically now where I thought they would be, right near the bottom. They're within, 4 points of the bottom of the NHL standings now. So the hope of getting the worst overall record and the only spot in the NHL standings that guarantees that you get either Connor Bedard, Adam Fantilli, or Leo Carlsson, they're within striking distance.
Yeah, and I think that middle stretch where they won a lot of games and they were beating some really good teams, Boston, Toronto, and you go, uh-oh. Like, not good enough for a playoff run, clearly, but not bad enough to be bad enough. And that's where we got worried. And to be honest, a lot of that was Karel Vejmelka. I mean, he put his team on his back, and he played unbelievable for the month of November. And I think that made that push look possible. Now, I think this is where we thought they would be. They're sitting at 38 points after 50 games. And Lee and I were talking last night about where does that put them and what we expected. Last year, they finished with 57. That means they need 20 points in their last 30 to get to 58 and beat that. Can they get 20 in their last 30? That's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. They're going to have to go on a little stretch, especially after talking trade deadline. That's 10 more wins out of 30. That's 1 and 2 every 3.
10 wins or a couple OT losses.
A couple of OTs. So I think that's probably pretty realistic. I think 60 points for this team. I think 60 points is close to where this team is going to be. I think this is what we thought.
Is that going to be the worst record in the league, though? 60
I don't
points.
think so.
I don't think it will be either. Yeah.
I think Columbus is too bad. Chicago is too bad.
We said it over and over again. The biggest deal here is going to be who dismantles their roster the best at the trade deadline.
Right.
And I don't know if Columbus has the pieces to do that. I think you're going to see an exodus in Chicago that could lose some big pieces. I don't think Anaheim really has much they can do there. They've got guys that are on longer-term contracts. They've got younger players they're not trying to move. The Coyotes, I think, even barring a Jakob Chychrun trade that I think is going to be too difficult by the trade deadline, I still think the Coyotes are going to move a lot of players out of here. I really do. And it's going to be lesser players, but there's going to be a lot of them. So that's going to be a key to who finishes last and finishes in the basement in the Bedard sweepstakes.
And the head-to-head games. Like they got to play Chicago a few more times. And Columbus is the only team literally in the running for that worst overall record that the Coyotes have beaten. That's literally the only team that they've defeated so far. They've lost to all the other teams, whether it's in regulation or in overtime. Those are huge games. Those are swing games. They're as much as 4-point games. So those are worth watching as well.
Yeah, those are the ones you have to lose. Yep. And I tell you, Anaheim just beats Colorado right before the break.
And took 3 or 4 from the Coyotes in terms of points.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Let them beat those teams. Coyotes can win a couple here and there, sprinkling some of these better teams.
I like when the Coyotes beat the good teams.
Yeah.
It's
they
fun,
got Vegas.
especially the Leafs.
Take Vegas again.
Yeah.
You've got some
even
good
LA.
teams.
Like,
beat LA.
Beat LA,
yeah,
always.
Always.
I would just want to know, what was the biggest surprise of the first 50 games? And it could be a player, it could be a stretch of games, whatever. What was the biggest surprise for you in the first half? And what was the biggest kind of maybe letdown?
You go first on this one, Pete.
Well, I think the biggest surprise to me is how well they played inside the Mullet Arena. And that I think for the first time in nearly 25 years that they had a real home advantage since they left downtown. And I don't know if they ever really felt like that they had a home field, home court, home ice advantage until the Mullet. I don't know if that ever really felt like
probably
that.
only in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was surprising to me. And I think that was great that they went on. They had the Mullet magic early. I think they're going to lose some games at home, but I think that was the bright spot for me. On the negative side, it's hard to say because I think negatively, I thought that these veteran players, I thought they were going to take a step backward from what we saw in the veteran players from a year ago, and they helped this team win more. And I don't know, it's hard to say negative is winning, but you looked at the leaders that they had on this team last year, Strawman, Beagle, Ladd. They had guys that could really bond the group together. And I think this year, Bjugstad has done a little bit of that, but these guys they fit in better than last year's veterans. And I think that has surprised me the most, that's why I thought they were going to be so bad, is the fill-in veteran guys. I said, well, they're not as good as Louis Eriksson and guys that I thought would be better. These guys are like, well, at the back end, Nemeth and Brown and Stecher, they're okay, but they're not going to pull this team together. And exactly the opposite. They pulled this group together. This is a team now, and that's why they're able to win games. And I hate to say that's a negative, but I thought that guaranteed them last place, and it clearly hasn't.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise for me is just simply a player who we'll probably be talking about more, Matias Maccelli. I didn't even think he belonged on this roster when the season started. I didn't think he was ready. I thought he needed to play more games in the AHL. Not only did he belong on the roster, he's established himself as one of the best rookies in the NHL. He's terrific with the puck on his stick. Clearly, there's still more room for growth in Matias Maccelli's game, but he's shown that he belongs. So I would say that's the biggest surprise for me. And then the biggest negative to me is, again, it's about the goal of this season. And it's not even what the Coyotes have done. It's what a couple of other teams have done. Like, I didn't see Columbus being this bad.
I don't think any of us saw
Columbus.
We expected.
I mean, they go out and get Johnny Gaudreau, and you figure, okay, they'll at least take us a marginal step forward. I didn't think they were a playoff team, but I thought they would take a step forward with the addition of Johnny Gaudreau, and they've just been abjectly horrible. I didn't think the Blackhawks would be quite this bad because they still have some really talented players on their roster. Yeah. So those would be the negatives, I guess, for me in the context of what the Coyotes are trying to do.
Yeah, and that has to be my biggest disappointment too. But it's not even for the Coyotes; it's more for the other teams. But I think for me, my biggest surprise has been Karel Vejmelka. This is year 2 for him in the NHL. He's stolen some of these wins for the Coyotes.
No question.
And last year, he had games like that last year, but they were more few and far between. Whereas, and he's definitely had his struggles, but I feel like he's been way more consistent. When I see he's in net every night, I think they actually have a chance. And generally when they're losing, it's not on him. So he's kind of been a surprise for me this season. And I think he's a big part of the reason they're in 29th right now rather than 32nd or 31st. So that's what I think for the first half. Well, a little bit more than half. 32 games to go. Oh boy. We believe, and we couldn't confirm this, but the over-under in point total on the DraftKings Sportsbook app before the season started was around 65, if not 65.5, 64.5, somewhere in that ballpark. I don't know. For anyone who took the over or the under, you might be sweating that one out for these last.
What's the pace right now? Have you guys actually calculated the pace?
No, because I don't do math.
That's math.
Yeah, it sucks.
I don't know.
It?
I feel
Jesse
like you
does
don't.
Yeah, 38 points in 50 games.
38 and 50.
A moment while you guys chat.
You figure this out. But I think futures are really fun on DraftKings because you place them and then you forget about them. I have 6. They're on pace
points.
for 62 points. Okay, so they're trending toward the under right now. And that's with the trade deadline. So the under's looking good. I think we suggested people take the under.
Well, at the time, I said heavy under because I thought this would be the record-breaking worst team in the history of the Coyotes. I did.
A lot of
57.
people did. Most analysts said that.
I said if the over-under was at 55, that would be the number. And they've going to
So for the people who
it's the boogie factor.
the boogie factor. So for the people who took the under, good. Like I said, futures are fun. I put a $5 bet on the Colorado Avalanche to repeat.
Interesting.
I don't know. Like, we'll see. And if it doesn't work
Very
out,
possible.
it's $5 that I forgot about.
Second line center, they're right back there.
Exactly. So plenty of ways for you to win money on DraftKings, including on the Super Bowl, which is just around the corner. And if you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app with the code PHNX, new customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57 and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See show notes for details. And now I'm going to throw it to Sean for our weekly DraftKings pick of the week.
Obviously no Buffalo Bills to bet on still.
Sad.
But DraftKings does have the odds for the NHL All-Star game. And so
they didn't yesterday.
Yeah, they just put them up.
Okay.
My DraftKings sportsbook pick of the week is the Metropolitan Division to win the All-Star game at plus 300. Looking at this roster, it seems like they are way better than everybody else. They have Shesterkin and Sorokin. Also, Artemi Panarin making his first All-Star appearance. Did not realize he had never been to an All-Star game before.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
They also have a couple of guys named Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby on the team. They're pretty stacked. So I think the Metropolitan
I like
Division.
it.
What's that?
Pekka?
No Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. No Tage Thompson because he's hurt. But Rasmus Dahlin, who should have been an All-Star originally for the Atlantic Division, is now. But so is Sabres legend Linus Ullmark.
All right. Well, there you have it. Sean's DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. If you want to tail him, you can do that on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And while you're watching the NHL All-Star game this weekend, maybe enjoy a nice Four Peaks beer. It's a day game, so you can do the day drinker, the golden lager. Oh wow, those are some good.
Can I tell a Four Peaks story?
Yes, you can.
So, my youngest gets on these project kicks where there's money available, there's money on the table, so all of a sudden there's motivation to do all these different projects around the house. Our pantry was, a pantry will get pretty nasty after a while. All the paint will wear off the shelves. Painted the entire thing. First cleaned it, painted it, reorganized it.
Kids did this?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine that.
The paintbrush
and at the very, it looks beautiful.
You hear that, Jackson?
At the back of the cabinet, we found a 6-pack. Well, it's bottles of pumpkin porter. We didn't even know we had it.
Wow.
So we chilled those.
What a find!
Drank. Yeah, it was a nice find. It was a bonus to
an autumn Christmas.
Yeah, it was great.
Love it.
There you go.
Love it. Well, if you want to enjoy yourself a nice Four Peaks brew, you can grab one wherever you buy your beer. And with the Super Bowl right around the corner, enjoy a nice Four Peaks beverage during the big game. All right. I think it's time.
It's time
to do our first ever PHNX Coyotes Midseason Awards. Even though I feel like I'm hosting, Petey looks like he's hosting. I don't really know. So just to let everybody know, these categories, we use some creative freedom to come up with them. Some of them are more typical, some of them a little more atypical. And if you disagree with our picks, feel free to contest with us.
Oh,
in
I
the
thought you were going to
comments.
say we don't care. Sorry.
Yeah, HK if you don't.
I mean, you feel free to contest with
Our
us in the
show.
comments in the Discord or on Twitter,
Get a
but
show.
like Craig said, we don't care because we think we're right.
Get your own
Although I
damn
do
show.
know Sean disagrees on one of the categories.
Really?
So
We'll see. We'll get to that.
we'll get to it.
Already?
Yep.
I disagree on multiple of the categories.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Well, feel free to speak up.
I
Feel
will.
free to speak
Trust.
All right.
up. Okay. So I think our first category should be Breakout Player. So this is the Breakout Player Award. We have 3 nominees for this award. Matias Maccelli. I had to say it like that. I know you're not from Italy. Dylan Gunther and Karel Vejmelka. All guys we kind of already talked about earlier today.
Do we have a drum roll?
We have. Isn't that amazing?
And the winner is Matias Maccelli.
Matias Maccelli.
Oh, Moderno. Matias Maccelli. As Craig mentioned, this kid not even penciled in to make this roster coming out of training camp. And not only done that, but he's competed, was one of the top rookies in the NHL right now. So I don't think this is something we expected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, before his injury, he was right there with Matty Beniers in the top rookie categories, and we were considering him possibly even a bubble Calder candidate.
Yep. As we said earlier, incredible with the puck on his stick. The one piece of advice that we all have for Matias Maccelli, shoot.
Shoot the puck.
Shoot the puck.
Shoot it.
It's going to come. It's going to come with confidence. And as he plays longer and some maturity in this league, he is going to become more of a goal scorer than a distributor. I believe that.
I think all Coyote fans at Mullet, when Matias has the puck in scoring position, need to do what they do all the time anyway in inappropriate instances and scream shoot.
Shoot.
Yes.
Shoot. All right. Well, congrats to Matias Maccelli for earning that award. And just a slight flex on my part in our preseason predictions, I did predict him as the breakout player. But there's still 32 games left, so maybe someone else will
I think she edited that video.
assert
That's a
themselves.
fact.
I think we lost that, so I don't
No.
remember. What I did
Yeah,
that
you
for.
guys went and
That's
deleted the
gone.
file.
Yeah, off of YouTube. It's not
All right.
there.
Next award, and I know this sounds dark, but it's not. Most likely to be traded. I know that sounds bad, but it's actually a positive reflection on the person because that means they have value that is worth something.
And the nominees are
Da-da-da-da.
Josh Brown, Jakob Chychrun,
The voice.
Shane Gostis be here. Oh, wait. Gostis Bear.
Right. Like those celebs.
All right.
Butchering names.
Let's see.
And the winner is
Oh.
Josh Brown.
Woo!
Congratulations, Josh. Or
I-
not.
Or not.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the award you want.
I think this is kind of a surprise winner in this. I'm
I
not sure
agree.
about the Academy on this vote, but I'll tell you why. Because Josh Brown fills a role. He is going to be a bottom pair defenseman that can play minutes, eat minutes, can play physical, can beat guys below the goal line, can defend, has a good stick. I think there are teams looking for that running into the playoffs, and they are going to need players like Josh Brown that has some physicality and toughness, and I don't think you can find that. I think he gets traded by the deadline.
Yeah, totally agree. For those reasons, right? He's an easy contract to absorb. Everybody is looking for depth on defense come playoff time because everybody will lose defensemen in the postseason. It's a war of attrition. So you need guys like that. He will. I think Josh Brown's going somewhere. There, he is. It's interesting. He was considered just a guy who's going to be
I've
like
literally never heard
an
of
extra
him before
defenseman.
he
Like,
came
oh,
to
he'll
Steve.
be in some games. He won't play all the games. He'll be a healthy scratch a lot. He's carved out a regular role for himself. Good for Josh Brown.
And you saw the nominees very defense heavy, and I think what hurt Gosh's Bear late was the injury. I still think if he gets through injury free, I know people thought, oh, for sure he's going to get traded. For sure he's going to get traded. Teams have that guy, and
That's it. It's about need.
It's
right?
about need. You have that guy, unless a player like Gosh's Bear, where it's an offensive defenseman that can help quarterback a power play. Unless you're missing that guy, I'm not sure you go after Gosh's Bear. You need Brown. I think that fills a greater need for the defending, more physical guy through the war of attrition through a 2-month playoffs.
Yep. And like I said, I didn't know who he was before the season. So sorry, Josh, but congrats on proving yourself enough this season to be a trade candidate for this team. All right. Next category is Minnesota Man Crush.
Huh.
So Minnesota Man Crush Award is the category. The nominees are Nick Bjugstad. Did you know he's from Minnesota? Travis Boyd. Did you know he's from Minnesota? And Logan Cooley. Did you know he plays for Minnesota? And the winner of the Minnesota Man Crush Award is...
Hey!
Nick Bjugstad!
Nick Bjugstad. I might have stuffed the ballot box on that one a little bit.
This is for all the times PD has voted him DraftKings King of the Game, and we have usurped
And you
his vote.
ignored me.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Boogie's the glue that holds this whole thing together.
He really is. He's just been an unbelievable addition. You talk about the importance of veteran presence in the locker room. It's a cliche. It's one of those cliches you hear all the time, but it's also true when you have the right guys that can really bring a room together and a team can achieve more than is expected of them. And that's what's happened here with Nick Bjugstad.
And I think he's a guy you really want on your team when you get through the other side of this too. And that's what's just so disheartening for me is he is a big trade piece for this team right now. I'd like to see him get re-signed here and help get these guys through this, because not only is he doing the right things on the ice, off the ice, he comes to the rink with a smile, puts in his work, puts his work boots on, and does things the right professional way. And I think he's a good guy to follow for these young guys. I don't know how realistic that is. I think he's going to be gone by the trade deadline. So I'll have to start.
Sad.
Another
passing.
need, though, right? Like this guy can,
Yeah.
your teams are looking for a third line center who can play defensive hockey.
But he can play up higher in your lineup too.
He can. He move up in the lineup. He's big. He can match up with guys. And again, what he brings to the room. So it'll be another great deadline addition for a team. And there are a lot of teams that are interested in Nick Bjugstad. A lot of teams.
I'm going to just a quick little tease for all of those Minnesota fans out there from the native state of 10,000 lakes, actually 11,480. But
who's counting?
There might be a little Minnesota content coming very, very soon.
Yep.
To PHNX.
Boyd howdy.
Because we haven't had any yet on the show.
So stay tuned for a little extra Minnesota content.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing.
Y'all just better not let Pat Kane get traded here somehow. That's going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah, the Chicago connection, if Patrick Kane.
Oh, no, I'm talking
Buffalo
connection.
Going back home.
Well, and Chicago, 2 for 1.
Buffalo Kane to Buffalo.
You know, they missed a chance to hop right into the playoff picture in that last game. But, you know, Carolina's rolling right now. They're close. The Sabres are close.
Biz wants the Sabres there.
Huh?
Biz wants the Sabres in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I want to see the Sabres in, too.
Yep, he was going off on TNT. All right, let's get into our next category, Best Beard. And I'm going to let Craig introduce the nominees for this one.
I've actually written extensively about all of them.
Yes, you have. So the category is Best Beard Award. Craig, take it away.
And the nominees are Liam O'Brien, Lawson, Crouse, and Barrett Hayton?
Sorry, Barrett. We didn't mean to give you
Got a little
shit.
bit of love from the younger generation.
But we had to.
That was a terrible beard.
Eventually, you'll be able to grow a beard, Barrett Hayton. So, okay, we'll just get to it because it's clear that Barrett Hayton's not winning this award. The winner is...
It's so good.
Lawson Crouse in an upset over Liam O'Brien.
Where was Liam O'Brien?
The pupil is now the master.
Wow. And I think part of, I'm sorry, it's like one of those movies get released right before the voting. Crouse has been hotter coming into this, and Liam has been out of the lineup.
True.
So you got to give the nod to Lawson Crouse.
And Liam, we've seen him with his beard. We know his beard.
I wrote about Liam's beard.
Yeah. And
There's
Lawson
a story
Crouse
about that.
showed up and all of a sudden had this unreal, he was came out of nowhere. And I think the surprise factor helped contribute to his win.
I wonder how
today.
much pride Liam O'Brien takes in Lawson Crouse's beard, knowing that he, helped shape it.
Yeah. That he was the inspiration.
Yeah, he was. I mean, 2 ginger beards on the same team.
Unreal. Unreal. It's so good. Oh man. So congrats to Lawson Crouse and Liam. You're always in the running, and maybe next year.
Still
okay?
a spectacular beard.
Yeah.
It was just tough competition this year.
And Barrett maybe one day. All right. Let's get into our next category. This category was an idea from our very own Sean DePaz. So the category is the best Arizona export. So the criteria is you have to be an Arizona-born player and playing anywhere.
I feel like Sean should read the nominees here in the winner. So since it was his idea.
Yeah, go ahead and read the nominees, and I'll announce the winner.
The nominees for the best Arizona export are Auston Matthews, Matthew Nyes, and of course, the one, the only, the obvious, I mean, let's be real, the obvious winner, right, of this award, Tage Thompson.
And the winner is... I have to like wait for the crescendo. It's Auston Matthews.
Hold on. I'm gonna let y'all finish. But hold on, let me get on the camera here. I'm gonna let y'all finish.
Just complete takeover.
Tage Thompson is having one of the best seasons of any Arizona export in the history of the game. Not the year, not the last decade of the game. Auston Matthews.
We're not talking about a decade.
We're not talking about a decade. We're talking about the game, the history of the game. Gordie Howe, who? Wayne Gretzky, who? We're talking Tage Thompson. Come on now.
Wow, that is some Tage Thompson love.
Well, all right. Well, Sean has completely usurped this category, and I am not shocked in the slightest. But honestly, I probably would give this award to Tage. I mean, what a breakout season.
Wow. Well,
I tell you what,
this was not unanimous then.
I tell you what, Tage Thompson has come from a guy that was picked late first round pick for his size more than anything. He's having a phenomenal year. The kid can play. He's an offensive threat every time he touches the ice. Love to watch the kid, but it's Auston Matthews. I mean, we're still talking about a first overall pick that's a generational talent that can change his team. He needs to get this team out of the first round of the playoffs, or this
Before he comes home. Yep.
it could get passed along to Tage Thompson, the mantle, if the Buffalo Sabres get through the first round before the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Ooh, there it is.
Pressure's on for next year's voting.
I will say the one thing about Tage, when he got that deal, I think it was in the off season, and I remember my first reaction was, wow, that's like a seemingly big contract to give to someone who is relatively unproven. And I mean, the Sabres GM took a gamble, and it's paying off. Because that, when you look at with the cap going up in the next couple of years, the value that they got him at for the length of time they did, I mean, that's a steal for Tage Thompson. So, just saying. But yeah, Auston Matthews, obviously, he's kind of the face of Arizona hockey. But Tage is right there in that conversation. So things you love to see as
no doubt,
as the game continues to grow, and they will not be the last. And for Matthew Nyes, you know, he's still in college, but let's see what he can do.
Maybe Josh Doan will jump on that list too.
Exactly.
Also,
more players coming.
Wild that both Tage and Auston Matthews are both injured for the All-Star game.
Sad. But listen, guys, if you ever want to return home and play for the Arizona Coyotes again, I got you, and I'll help you furnish your whole home when you move here. I'll take you to more furniture. We'll get you all set up, and you'll have you not only get to live, by the way, like it's 70 degrees this weekend. It's February. Come on, Toronto, Buffalo, when you could be here, sunny skies. I don't see a cloud out this window right now. And then not only that, but you can have the most comfortable and stylish and best furniture. Come on, I got you. So if you want to save big on furniture, like the exports who will eventually make their return, I'm claiming it now. Save big on the best furniture in the Valley when you head to morefurniture.com. That's morfurniture.com. I will be in the market for some new furniture soon, so I will not going to talk about it yet.
Not
but
today.
I will definitely be checking out more. I need a kitchen table, a dining room table. I need a lot of stuff. So more, I'm coming. But in the meantime, I might start racking up some money on Underdog Fantasy.
Good idea.
Put that aside for my More Furniture trip. And it feels so weird with like there were just a couple hockey games sprinkled this week, and now we're off for a couple days here. NFL, it's the one off week with the Pro Bowl coming up. So really NBA is
basketball, yeah.
It's around college basketball, all of it. So if you want to win yourself some money on Underdog Fantasy, you can do so by playing daily fantasy. You can do fantasy drafts with your friends. You just pick 5 or you draft 6 players per team. It's a lot of fun, and then the winner wins it all. And by the way, like, you know me and my weenie bets, it's like $3 drafts, $5 drafts. It's really not high stakes, which I like. So you can also do the pick'em game, which again, you can put $1 on it and win up to 20 times your money. So win $20 off $1. Okay, sign me up. So lots of good ways to win money on Underdog Fantasy, and it's super easy to get started. Go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app. Sign up with the code PHNX, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. All right, let's continue on with our award show and let's do the best dressed category. And
It's not Steve Peters.
It's not Petey, although if I had known this was your outfit, I would have maybe put you in the nominations. But first, I want to give a shout out to Mallory, who is a former PHNX intern, now works with the Coyotes.
Yeah.
So I consulted with her directly. She actually gave us the nominees and the winner, of which we agreed because you'll see it in these photos. So the category is Best Dressed Award. The nominees are Troy Stecher, Juuso Välimäki, and Jakob Chychrun. Again, thank you to Mallory and the Coyotes for providing these photos.
Wow. Go to YouTube. These are
these
electric.
are, unreal. Or just go back on the Coyotes
Or as the kids are
Instagram.
saying today, that's drip.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And the winner is Troy Stecher.
Wow.
And I will say, Mallory said Stecher 100%.
Not even close. Did you see that fursuit for his nomination photo?
Unreal.
Boy, howdy.
Look at this.
Look at this. Look.
Unreal.
Wow.
The slick back hair, the sunglasses.
Phenomenal.
He looks like he's dressed for Trevor Zegras' funeral.
Oh, wow. Too soon?
Whoa.
Too soon?
I love it. Congrats to Troy Stecher on winning the first inaugural Best Dress Award for the Coyotes. So we'll see. Listen, if you want to win that award, you got to step up your fashion game. All right. Next category, PD, I will let you read. It's going to be Best Hair. You're going to read
The nominees?
Yep. So, Best Hair.
I think Craig, because he's got the best hair on the show, Craig should read the winner. For the Best Hair Award, the nominees are...
I'll read the winner.
Nick Schmaltz, Dylan Gunther, Jakob Chychrun.
All right.
And the winner is La La Land.
Wait,
What?
Oh.
Oh, oops, wrong.
Try
award
again.
show.
Reset.
Not again.
We'll go
All
back.
right, reset.
Okay. Sorry.
Let's read the actual
Our bad.
winner.
Our bad. Somebody's getting fired. Okay. And the winner is Nick Schmaltz.
Can you see how happy he would be to win this award?
Maybe
right now?
we'd even get his lips
Half a
might
smile?
turn up slightly. I don't know.
Hey.
So Sean disagrees with our choice.
Oh, really?
I would like to hear you make your case.
I guess I was in a different mind space with this, but I was thinking hockey flow, and I really don't think his is all that exceptional.
I'm going to go with DP on this one. You want mullet-esque.
That's what I was
but
thinking.
I'm thinking
So then it's Keller.
But
I love Juuso Välimäki's slick back blonde hair.
Yeah.
I just think Nick Schmaltz has a great head of hair. He just has a great head of hair. And we didn't really, maybe we should add another category next year, best helmet flow
Yeah.
and then best hair because
There are two different things.
I would agree there that maybe Schmaltz does not deserve that award, best flow out
That's
the
fair.
helmet, but he does have a great
Here's
great
what
head
I'll
of
say
hair.
about Juuso. And because I mentioned Juuso. Juuso, when it's styled,
Fair.
it's sharp. Doesn't always bring the style game to the rink.
That's fair.
Having been around him. Nick Schmaltz, the hair is always a consideration.
After working in the National Hockey League for over 20 years, I always dreamed of discussing players' hair live on YouTube
wearing
and
a
debating it.
$35
Good Lord.
white suit and
What
white
has my life become?
I know, if only we were drinking beer to
Yeah.
really round this out.
What do you think's in the cup?
All right, we got a couple categories left. Next up, we got weird eating habits. Weirdest eating habits is the category.
Boy. Who's reading this one?
Why don't you read it, Craig?
Oh, okay. All right. The nominees are Jakob Chychrun, Christian Fisher, and Petey.
Petey.
Okay, we need to explain why. So Jakob Chychrun, if you know, you know the liver king diet, the raw everything,
He's eating like animal hearts.
bizarre. Okay?
I'm not saying he's killing the animal and tearing it right out of his chest, but he's eating.
We're
like,
not
raw meat.
saying he's a vampire, but we're not saying.
By the way,
Exactly.
did you know that he got his dad on this diet too? Jeff's
You're
on this
kidding
diet.
me.
Jeff's like, I'm the same weight as I was in my playing days, or it's crazy like how much weight he's lost.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And Jeff on this diet.
I lose weight too because I wouldn't eat it.
Christian Fisher is on here simply because inexplicably from Chicago, he loves ketchup, and that's unforgivable.
That's a bad eating habit.
It's unforgivable. And then Petey because, I'm going to be hosting, I don't know if you all know that I'm going to be hosting a St. Patty's Day party. And there'll be food at this St. Patty's Day party. And no, none of you are invited, so I apologize. This is a staff-only party. But there'll be a lot of food. And my wife can cook, as a lot of people sitting right here can attest.
Very true.
Will Petey be eating any of that food? No, he'll be eating before he arrives at the party. He's actually told me that he'll be eating before he arrives at the party because none of our food is acceptable to Petey.
Okay, so... luckily, I married the right woman here because when we go to an event that has food,
you listening, Tara? Okay.
We eat first because how am I going to monitor what went into that food? How that food was cooked? Do you have a thermometer? Did you temp it out properly to the guidelines of what that meat should be prepared? No, like I didn't. And if you did, I didn't see it. Did your wife wash her hands before? I don't know. I don't want to be sitting in the bathroom all night. So no, I'm eating first. There is no issues. And then I went to an event this week where I watched 50 people go through the food line. Who's sick? Who's been picking at their nose? I don't know these things. So I'm not eating the food.
I can hear Tara right now. And
pre-eating.
Donning her Sam
it's
Jackson.
It's called pre-eating.
Well, allow me to retort.
Pre-eating.
You will probably get a retort from Tara at some point.
I get to eat what I want. I'm happy, and then I won't get in your way in the food line. Everybody's happy.
I will say that she could tell me that she put poison in the sweet potato pie, and I'm still going to eat it.
I still think I'm right.
If she washed her hands or not, I'm going to eat it every time.
By the way, also free food, it just tastes better. Just saying. And listen, it's a lot of work for me to cook. I don't always have the time. Petey will come to a 5 p.m. game star and he's like, yeah, we barbecued salmon at 3 o'clock.
That's exactly what it is.
That is true.
He's going to have grilled salmon and
100%
boiled squash or something
I'll have vegetables
before he arrives.
Brussels sprouts.
It's very healthy. I respect it. It's just weird. So I think we should
weird.
I think we should get into the actual winner of this category. Yeah, I'll announce. And the winner of the Weirdest Eating Habits Award it's Jakob Chychrun. I mean,
hands down, nearly unanimous.
You just can't. You just can't compete.
I think, and maybe one of our summertime shows, I believe we should try to do this. I sincerely do.
I'll only do it if he comes in studio, if he's still a Coyote and does it with us.
And eats, brings his favorite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine that, dining with Jakob Chychrun, where we could do a chef's table. We'd stand alongside of him.
I'm in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I will probably won't make it through it, but I'm in. Let's try it.
You may be surprised to hear me say this, but there's not a shot in hell I eat.
Wow,
any of that.
you'll eat the 99-cent pancake syrup.
Yeah, because that stuff was meant for humans to eat, not raw
I don't think
deer
it
heart.
was, but I don't think
Let's
it
do
was.
it. Put that on the calendar for the summer.
Oh my God. That would be an incredible show.
All right. Well, we're down to
Put chicken in a chef's hat. I love it.
I'm super down. All right, we're down to our last category, and it is a semi-normal one. It is normal. It's MVP, of course. We have to name an MVP, the most valuable player of the first 50 games. Petey, take it away.
And the nominees are Karel Vejmelka, Clayton Keller, Lawson, Crouse.
All right.
And the winner is Clayton Keller.
Yay!
I'm kind of disappointed our writers didn't come up with a little joke we could, the banter when they come up with the nominees, and they did just absolutely out of character, idiotic banter between the two presenters. Next year.
Next year.
We need to have that.
We'll ramp it up.
Congrats to Clayton Keller. I mean, he's the Coyotes All-Star. He, he hasn't always been a shoo-in for this award, I would say.
Because you talked about Veg, what he did early in the season. He just hit a little bit of a slide. But the other thing about Kells, we've talked about this a lot. He's playing a lot of minutes in all situations right off a broken leg. It's crazy. We just talked to him about this. But the fact that he was able to step right in and produce immediately, coming off a gruesome injury and log those kind of minutes, he wins the award.
And he puts up those kind of numbers offensively. I would be curious to see where Lawson Crouse would be if not for his injury and missing out those games, because he was at the time, it was back and forth. Every game, someone would take over the goal-scoring lead, and so that really set him back. Keller's been better of late, and Vejmelka, if he could have kept that November streak going up until now, not only would he have won the award, he would probably be the highest-rated to-be-traded player on this team. It just didn't happen for Carell. Hey, look, Keller's been better. And this is what this team expected from Keller when they drafted him. And I think he's had a great season so far. But from our perspective, from doing this show, how much better has Clayton Keller got on the interview stand? Like yesterday? Yesterday he was concerned about lighting and am I framed right? Last time he had the goddamn lights out. He was in the dark.
And it was like that low angle shot.
He set this phone on the table in the dark. And we're like, do you want to open? No, I'm good. Okay.
I will have a really good Q&A up on Clayton Keller on Friday as well on Go PHNX. So look for that. Yeah, he was terrific in that interview.
Yeah, he's becoming a more mature player in this league too, on and off the ice. I think he definitely deserves this award. I'm looking forward to what he does over the next 32 games.
Yep, absolutely. And by the way, EVs and Debug are disappointed. They wanted Veggie to win the MVP.
He was close.
This was
a close competition.
We did give him his flowers. So.
There have been a lot of accusations of fraud. Just saying. I don't know if
with this award or in general.
EVs particularly has been accusing the election of being rigged a lot.
Yeah.
Or the
Just
voting
why
process.
Is it rigged because we talked to Kells yesterday?
Some ballots weren't counted.
Well, no, I mean, I can understand there's a clear appearance of bias in a couple of the awards, particularly the Minnesota Man Crush and the Arizona Export. So they seem a little, I can understand where the
we're the committee, okay? So we can do what we want.
Just like they do in the movie awards show, they have the Academy Awards and then they have the People's Choice Awards. So I think before the season ends or at the end of the season,
we should do an off-season.
Yes,
People's Choice Awards.
The People's Choice Awards.
Perfect.
And everyone can vote on Twitter.
I'm going to go a step further. I think we can get some of our diehards actually reading the winners.
I love it.
And the winner is, and we can get
I love that
some
idea.
flowers to our diehards.
Produce that whole show.
Yeah,
cool.
I'll edit and put that together. Great idea, guys. Evie, love it.
Awesome. You just sparked a good idea. And maybe next year when we do this, we'll actually do it at a theater and we can sell tickets.
Imagine that. That would be unbelievable.
And those tickets will be available on Game Time. So they will be 5 cents.
Yeah.
But
we'll have to pay people.
It'll be pricey.
Hey, save up to 60% when you buy last minute.
I know where we can get some crushed red velvet ropes.
Mullet. Sorry.
Unreal.
Well, I like it. Game Time. It's your go-to. Why not get those tickets there?
It is. I gotta say, I told you guys earlier this week I was looking at Phoenix Suns tickets on Monday. $12 tickets. A couple of artists that I really like are going on tour. John Mayer, Beyonce.
Saw the John Mayer news. Yep.
Those tickets are kind of pricey, so I might just hold out and wait till it gets closer on Game Time. And as Derek says, I don't know what I'm doing that day yet, so let me wait and find out. I'm big on that, so that's why Game Time is the best place to buy your tickets. And like we always say, save up to 60% when you buy them last minute. The best way to support us is by using the link below in the description to get your tickets. So check that out. We've all used it. It's very easy to use. So check out Game Time. And like Craig already mentioned, lots of great reasons to become a diehard over at gophnx.com. I'm really excited. But that one's unlocked, right? The Keller story?
Yeah.
But you have your mailbag, your 97 question mailbag.
It's insane.
That's for diehards only.
That did take me 2 sittings to get through that. And I'm not kidding.
Imagine answering them all. Yeah, that was a lengthy process. I did 3 days off after that.
Awesome.
And next Monday I'll have something on the trade deadline, on the trade candidates.
Cool.
So
love it. So looking forward to that. So if you need to be a diehard to read those and to join our Discord, which is always a lot of fun. And like Petey said, if you want to become a diehard, maybe you'll get a chance to read our People's Choice Awards, and maybe in April or May when we get to the postseason time.
And if any of you own a theater where you want to host us,
yes,
let us know.
Yes,
we're game.
Yes, we will supply the food
ourselves.
We'll supply the food, possibly illegal Pete's. Just saying.
Yeah, well, Petey won't eat any of it, but
that's true. But that's okay. Hey, more for everyone else.
Yeah,
but lots of great perks to becoming a diehard. 20% off merch, 20% off events, of which we have some exciting ones coming up. And speaking of events, and this is a free one, we have one coming up. You guys don't even, well, you know this, but I'm going to tell everyone for the first time. February 15th, we will be at Illegal Pete's before the Arizona Coyotes Tampa Bay Lightning game, Wednesday, February 15th, for a little pregame food and drink action. Free entry, free food and drink at Illegal Pete's. Did I mention that it's free?
It looks like it's free.
4:30 p.m. Illegal Pete's, Mill Ave. We will be there at Illegal Pete's hanging out before that game. So come hang out, come say hi, stop by, get some free food, and hang out with us before the game. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I have a question.
Yes.
So when you say we,
it means the three of us.
Okay, just checking.
Add it in your calendar.
It's always the three of us and not the four of us.
The four of us. Sorry, Sean.
I don't know. I feel bad for you, buddy. That's terrible. I just want to make sure I'll put it on my calendar. I'm in.
So we hope to see everybody there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Listen, if you haven't tried the queso, I'm going to make you try it. I'm going to make you try it. It's so good. All right, you guys, any final notes before we head out?
I'm looking forward to the All-Star game, actually. We're going to be watching it. Obviously, we're going to be doing a show. But I'm also looking forward to the high school hockey state championships on Saturday at the Mullet.
I am too.
We'll be there as well.
Both of those things you said. I'm looking forward to these unique events, and Keller's going to be doing the golf hockey event. Can't wait to see how that all came together. And then Saturday night, I'll be calling the game. So watch it on YouTube, and Craig and Leah will be there, and we're going to hang out a little bit and talk hockey with people that want to talk hockey. And it's Desert Vista and Notre Dame, and get tickets at the Asha website at the Mullet. Like, it's going to be, honestly, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see this. These two teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah.
So go check it out.
It's going to be really fun, and we did a preview show. It's on our YouTube channel, PHNX Sports YouTube, and on our podcast feed. So if you want to get a little preview of that matchup, Petey talked to both coaches, talked to the voice of Asha and the president of hockey for Asha as well. So lots of great stuff in that one. And we should mention, on tomorrow's show, we have a very special guest. Tempe City Council member Randy Keating will be joining us for his second appearance on the show in studio. So we're going to talk all things TED, all things May 16th vote, maybe what you should know for the vote, and all things like that. So looking forward to talking to Randy. That's 11 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. So make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live. And then we'll be live after the All-Star game too. Talk a little All-Star. That'll be a fun one before we head on to the Mullet for the state championship. So it's going to be a great couple of days here. We appreciate everybody in the chat for chiming in. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and subscribe and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, anywhere you get your podcasts. Leave us a review, and that means a lot to us. And you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow at Sean_DePaz, okay? He is one of the four on this beat. Yes. Sean_DePaz on Twitter. You can follow Petey at SPetersHockey. You can follow Craig at Craig S. Morgan. Follow me at Leah Merrill. Follow the show at PHNX_Coyotes. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we will see you tomorrow.